to cross over to Washington for the latest reaction from our correspondent who's at the White House. Fraser Jackson, we saw a social media post by the U.S. president earlier that was hailing the operation. Is the U.S. still putting distance between itself and the operation carried out by Israel, or was this done in lockstep?
Well, the United States is saying that the Israelis informed the U.S. government of what they were doing and were kept updated and kept informed of what exactly was taking place, but they insist that the U.S. was not militarily involved in this. Now, of course, Iran is not really buying that and said that as Israel's main sponsor, that they will also reap the consequences of this action. And of course, you could argue that it's nigh on impossible that there were no American-made munitions used in this attack overnight, but the U.S. government, for its part, insisting that it was not part of this and that this was a unilateral exercise held by the Israelis. But the U.S. government will be discussing this very shortly at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Donald Trump will be in the Situation Room underneath the West Wing behind me, where he'll be talking to his National Security Council team, where they will be discussing this situation and likely the next steps forward. For now, the US says that it is still looking for negotiations with Iran. They are still looking to get Iran back to the negotiating table to re-talk about this Iranian nuclear deal that the US is trying to get over the line. Those talks are scheduled to be held in Muscat on Sunday. And there was talk that Steve Witkoff, the special envoy who's been leading these negotiations for the US, would be meeting the Iranian foreign minister. At the moment, Witkoff is still planning on going to that meeting, but it remains to be seen whether the Iranians will show up on Sunday.
Remains to be seen. So for now, the meeting officially is still on.
For now, officially, yes. We don't have any words that they will be dropping out of that, but the president, we will be likely talking to him at some point later on today. Currently, no official public event on his schedule, but that can change on a dime here at the White House. So we're hoping to be able to speak to the president at some point today, but that will be one of the questions that we put to him as to whether the US will still be sending a team there regardless, and therefore leaving the ball in the Iranians' court. But the US wants Iran to get back to the negotiating table. Donald Trump has said that multiple times today on Truth Social. He said that he gave Iran 60-day ultimatum to make a deal. They should have done it. He said today is day 61. I told them what to do. They just couldn't get there. Now they have perhaps a second chance. So he's warning Iran to make a deal before a next wave of Israeli strikes would be, as he called it, even more brutal. A kind of strong arming of the Iranians here by the Americans to get them back to the negotiating table. We'll wait and see whether that tactic works.